Let's talk Jinx, a weekly Jinx video we do every Wednesday about anything to do with Jinx, as well as this video acting as a weekly discussion thread on the Jinx subreddit, our League of Jinx. Make sure to go check that out. And for today's topic, what we do every 2 weeks is talk about the new patch when it's going to hit, changes to Jinx, changes that might affect Jinx on that patch, and then finish with something of a pseudo AD carry tier list to round the video out. So of course, before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow the Twitch, follow the Twitter if you enjoy the video, and let's just jump into it. So while there were no changes directly to Jinx on this patch, there were changes to other AD carries that might affect her matchups. One of the bigger ones for a lot of people actually, Sivir. Attack damage growth, mana regeneration decreased, W cost increased. Basically, they went a little light on Sivir because, spoiler, there are some Essence Reaver nerfs that are going live this patch as well, and that might also hit Sivir as well. So they didn't want to go too hard on Sivir, and then also nerf Essence Reaver, and then kind of leave Sivir like in the gutter. But basically, her attack damage growth is going down from 3.11 to 3, the mana regeneration is going down from 8.012 to just 8, and the ricochet on the W, the mana cost is going from 60 to 75, and that's part of what helps her shove lane so hard as well. So in terms of the matchup, depending on who you ask, of course, right now, Sivir's in a state where she's just super powerful, kind of beats everyone from perma-shoving. But if you look at things like range and stuff, and Jinx and Caitlyn as counters for that range to auto-spacer, Jinx with her rockets, and then Caitlyn just naturally from the get-go at the gates with her range, you could bully Sivir in lane a little bit. Now, what this might do, especially when we talk about the Essence Reaver changes later, it might mean that Sivir can't default to power shoving if she can't beat you in trades in lane. Now, of course, it still might be dictated by the support pick, so it doesn't necessarily make Sivir like an automatic, like easy win for champions like Caitlyn and Jinx, but now you might be able to abuse that range a bit more on this champion, and she can't default to, hey, well, I'll just shove instead and try and win the lane, or at least survive the lane that way. So, there you go. Another AD carry that is getting some changes is Tristana. The attack damage growth, mana increased, mana regen decreased, W damage increased, and they basically want Tristana to kind of be buffed for when she opts in for a more aggressive playstyle. With the base stats, right? Attack damage growth going from 311 to 3.3, the mana is going from 246.76, okay, that's definitely cleaning that up, huh, to 250, and the mana regen is going from 7.206 to just 7.2. The rocket jump magic damage is going up by, looks like 10 at all ranks. Now, if I was to just give my opinion, I kind of wonder why they ever buffed Tristana, because it feels like she's a balance problem when she is strong. She probably is in a position where she is a bit too weak right now, but I do worry about that being a thing later. Now, in terms of like the matchup, right, depending on, again, who you ask, it's a range thing, right, where Tristana and Jinx both have to scale up the range that they eventually get, with Jinx with her Q and Tristana with her passive. Tristana can be a bit more aggressive with the chains like this to go all in on something with the E, the jump, and stuff like that. But depending on how you use like your flame chompers and stuff, right, she can just jump into the flame chompers and get snared actually like mid-air. It does buffer CC, but not when she's in the air. It's weird how that kind of works. But there are ways to kind of work around this change. They did opt for like the jumping in kind of thing instead of like a flat out just damage buff across the board on her Q or something like that, where she gets more attack speed, or the E damage, right? So that's kind of, it doesn't really change too much, I don't think, but maybe you think so, and so comment with the comment section down below if you think that change is actually a lot more significant than I'm giving it credit for. There were no other AD carry changes, honorable mention to the arcade skins for Caitlyn and Kai'Sa. Many people are probably going to be playing them to play those skins, but there were some support changes, like Karma. The base E movement speed duration has been decreased. Now granted, Karma's been a bit more powerful in like say top or maybe even mid and stuff like that. Still, if you haven't played with Karma support, just a heads up, the inspired movement speed has been lowered in duration from 2.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. When it comes to Pyke, solo lane Pyke was the main addressing point of these changes, but with the Q not doing AoE damage anymore, just something to note that if he goes in on a target, he's really single target focused right now, so there's that to note. When it comes to Sona, the Q Aurora damage ratio decreased, E bonus movement speed ratio decreased as well. Again, more of like the combination for Sona Taric or Sona Pyke, Sork Tahm Kench, Sona Tahm Kench I should say, and stuff like that, or solo lane even Sona. She has been a mid laner recently, but again, if she's being played support with you, just note there are some things that are going to be a little bit worse about her than currently is. Essence Reaver's upgraded costs decrease, total costs increase, build path adjusted. So Essence Reaver AD carries might have a little bit of a nerf because the cost is going up by like 100 gold. Might be like extra minion wave they have to farm now to be able to get this item. Things like the Sivir, even Lucian and stuff like that, Xayah, whatever, right? They might be slightly nerfed by this, and this is also why they didn't go harder on Sivir changes. Randuin's Omen, however, upgrade and total cost has been decreased, it is now slightly cheaper, and so as such for crit AD carries, just a heads up, the anti-crit tank armor item is a little bit better right now, so that might be a thing even if crit champions are getting a bit stronger. Now to get to the part of the video you're probably here for, the AD carry tier list, and how we do this based off of feedback is we go over a site like champion.gg, take the changes we went over in the patch, apply them to what we see to try and predict what will and will not be good going into the next patch, as well as with your comments in the comment section down below as we go on with your own opinions, right? Like maybe the Sivir changes are super massive and are going to drop her a lot more than maybe I think, so make sure to put that in the comment section down below as well. So, looking at champion.gg just right now, right, it has Jinx, Sivir, Twitch, Ashe, and Kog'Maw as the top 5 AD carries. Misfortune, Xayah, Jhin, Draven, Vayne round out the top 10, with Draven and Vayne being below 50, and like the rest of the AD carries below there. Now granted, of course, this is patch 9.12 going into 9.13, and now let's apply the changes and see what we think will happen, right? Like for example, Ranwood's Omen, maybe that might be a big more of a deal than we're thinking it is. Tanks are kind of already coming back into the meta. They're going to be building this item. So even though things like Jinx and Twitch are kind of unaffected directly, maybe that will bump them down like slightly, like the slightest of bits. I don't really think that much. If tanks become more prominent and a lot of people start building this item though, maybe we'll see like a slight percentage change there. Sivir, meanwhile, who a lot of people consider like an S tier AD carry, is getting some changes directly and also to Essence Weaver. I think that might bump her down a little bit, not really like cut her legs out from under her. So if she is an S tier AD carry, I think at worst she falls to like the A tier list. I don't think she really goes down to like B or C. I don't think they're that bad. Like all you have to do is farm an extra minion wave for like Essence Weaver, and she is one of the AD carries that's pretty good at farming with the QW combo, even if the damage has been reduced on the W a little bit. Not the damage, the cost has been increased on mana, right? So I don't think that's really harming her so much. Maybe things like Xayah and Lucian, who are already kind of at 50 or lower, they might drop a bit more because that might affect them a bit worse, right? Maybe not so much Sivir though. Again, comment if you disagree, totally fine. But again, crit changes, maybe that drops them like slightly, but I really actually think they kind of stay the same. So things like Jinx, Twitch, Ashe, you can also, instead of going, if Essence Weaver can go Infinity Edge, should be actually pretty fine. Kog'Maw is like the mixed damage AD carry right now, kind of do his own thing low key, and he didn't build Essence Weaver anyways, nor does he necessarily have to build crit. He might move up if tanks become super powerful, and like I'm just saying, I'm predicting like the worst case scenario just because we play things like Jinx and stuff here. You know, if like a bunch of tanks come in and they're all building, you know, things like Frozen Heart and, you know, Ranwood's Omen and stuff like that, just really messing with their DPS, Kog'Maw might move up just because he might just be better because he's not going to be building crit, so the anti-crit won't really affect him, even though he'll be in the same situation, if that makes sense. So if Jinx is pretty good right now in the number 1, I think she stays there right now. I think Twitch, Ashe, Kog'Maw, even Misfortune, at least at lower elos, actually stay at least S or A tier. Sivir, again, I think she's still pretty decent if you want to play her right now because of team comps, the meta, stuff like that. Her ult is still useful. There you go. Jhin might be like a low-key sleeper because he can kind of beat some of the things that are meta, like, you know, at least according to like IKeepItTaco and stuff up in Grandmasters. Jinx and stuff like that is stuff he wants to play against with that champion, and he's silently moving up, and he's not an Essence Weaver AD carry either, so there you go. One of the things to note, of course, is Tristana. She is pretty bad. She is getting buffed. She also doesn't build Essence Weaver, and she also can take it. She can fight Jhin pretty well. So even if Jhin moves up, she can move up as a Jhin counter. So there you go. That is a pseudo AD carry tier list, but I encourage you to comment in the comment section down below with your own list based on your elo to help other people out, especially over on the subreddit with the discussion thread. But thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.